Greetings and welcome back to Room 303 in our chats with Emily as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson contained in the Johnson edition. We turn now to a little offering on page 197. Morning is the place for dew. There's only 4 lines here, and in that regards, I'm always reminded of poem 1063, Ashes Denote That Fire Was. And I think it's a great little 4-line poem, but I think there's something pretty profound going on in this little poem. It is another poem about the circle of life for the Lion King fans in the house. Our assumptions are that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net. Down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily, our playlist. Hopefully you've already worked through our set of introductory comments. I'm hopeful that you've worked through the preceding 196 poems. We just finished with 196, We Don't Cry, Tim and I. Now, it is true that Emily several times in these earlier poems has been playing that game of beginning, middle, end. She'll play it oftentimes with weather. She'll play it oftentimes with seasons. Here she'll play it with the course of a single day. I want you to pay attention to the cyclical effect from morning to evening. And I want you to pay attention to the powerful political observation that happens at the end of this poem. This is one of the reasons we love Emily's stuff, because she just seems to be kind of la-ti-daing along through a 4-line offering, and then all of a sudden we get to the final line and we go, wait, what? And it kind of blows our mind. Morning is the place for dew, corn is made at noon, after dinner light for flowers, dukes for setting sun. Now, this is an amazing little offering, it seems to me. Of course, everything in the first 3 lines makes total sense. It is true. Morning is when we find the dew. Corn, of course, grows through in the noon of the day. Of course, we could think of it as well as spring, summertime. And after dinner light for flowers. And again, we can kind of think about the way in which all of these natural elements are being mentioned, morning and corn and flowers, and all of that makes sense. Morning, noon, early afternoon, and then all of a sudden we get to the final line. Dukes gets used one and only one time in all our poetry, it's here. Of course, Dukes makes us think of what? Well, Robert Browning's, My Last Duchess. You'll remember that speaker in that poem is a duke. And then the idea of setting sun with capital S in both of those 2 words with an exclamation point at the end. Well, what exactly is it that she's playing at here? Well, I think at 2A. She's giving us an observation. Don't think too highly of yourself. A very romantic observation. It's those final observation lines in Shelley's Ozymandias. We've given full lines there. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty in despair. Nothing beside remains around that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. Right? Lonely sand stretched far away. We've given a full lecture at learnstrong.net. Don't think too highly of yourself. Don't think more of yourself than you should, because even if you're a duke, you got to go bye-bye at setting sun time. At 2B, I love the shock of her use of this word, duke. Out of nowhere, it's almost a surprise. You're like, yeah, okay, well, what comes at evening? Oh, whoa. We're talking about the circle of life. We're talking about the recognition that you've not met any 200-year-old people. And that is a profound insight. Everybody has got to go bye-bye. Everybody, as we've said many times, gets to swing at the park for a short period of time. And as children, you were taught, you got to go to the van. I don't want to go to the van. No, you don't understand. You can't swing at this park forever. You got to go to the van. The van has always been waiting, and she's reminding even those of the most powerful elite class, guess what? Got to go to the van. Everybody's got to go bye-bye. And of course, at 3A, all kinds of titles come to mind. Of course, Hamlet's little speech to Claudius in 4:2 about how a king can die and maggots or a worm will eat from the king, and a beggar can find a way to go to keep himself alive by catching a fish that is ate of a king. We've given full lectures on all these titles at LearnStrong. Yeats is sailing to Byzantium, whatever is past, he'll say those opening lines, that is no country for old men, the young in one another's arms, birds in the trees, those dying generations at their song. The salmon falls, the mackerel crowded seas. Fish, flesh, or fowl come in all summer long. What does he say? Whatever is begotten, born, and dies. Caught in that central music only like monuments of unaging intellect. How about Marcus Aurelius' classic line from Meditation? Soon you will have forgotten all things, and all things will have forgotten you. Dukes and emperors probably most importantly need to remember that, right? Finally, at 3b, what was a time, maybe you're a little bit unsettled by this recognition, that you maybe thought a little more highly of yourself than you should have? And how are you preparing for the setting sun? I hope that Emily is challenging us, and everyone's got to have their Scrooge moment, right? Thank you.